Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video, another F1 23 game ideas video. Today I'm going to be talking about Breaking Point, but if you have missed any of the series so far, I can go and check that out as well. And if you have of course got any of your own ideas, then please do let me know in the comments below, because those ideas will be revealed next week in the final part. Where we look at some other stuff and also your ideas for F1 23 the game. But Breaking Point, now obviously it's not actually confirmed that it's going to be coming back for F1 23, but it's highly likely that it will come back for F1 23. I think it will. Obviously we already know that they have that offset where they have two different teams developing every other game, which is a little bit annoying because it doesn't mean you get that consistency, and it does mean that the best team, probably the better team, is already working on the next part of that next chapter of that story. So anyway, number one. Now obviously I really enjoy Breaking Point throughout F1 2021, and we're still at some point we will finish it off on this channel. But events based on emails, I feel like the email system is actually quite good. It gives you that, you've got those interactive activity, and you've obviously got there's interviews by the press, etc., and they have those sit down interviews. But other than that, they're pretty pointless. So I'd love to see a few events. Maybe you go and have a sit down interview with let's say for example Will Buxton or somebody from F1's media. You go and have a sit down, for example. Maybe also tie in some of the other cutscenes into emails to make it a bit more realistic, because I felt there was a disconnection between the email side of things and also where there was events going on there, and between the storyline. And expanding on sit down interviews really for number two, obviously with F1 Breaking Point had back on the F1 2021 when we still had interviews in both driver and my team career mode, which they need to be brought back for F1 23, but still, nevertheless, I'd like to see that it could be expanded, because obviously we had press conferences, you had the driver media pen as well. That's how we wanted normal career mode to actually be set up like. But with obviously the one that's missing are these sit-down casual emails that I mentioned you get in your email inbox, and those are the ones that I think could be beneficial, and obviously going to be longer and could have bigger effects because they don't happen so often compared to the weekly interview in the media pen. And obviously number three, you want a consequence of that. A little idea from F1 2019, which was sort of the, I don't want to say the precursor, obviously introduced Devin Butler. Obviously we haven't seen Lucas Weber come back yet. Hopefully, oh no, he wasn't in email, but other than that, didn't really see him at all throughout Breaking Point in F1 2021. But having press articles / releases, basically from other people as well, would be very interesting. Maybe even clips on that would be pushing it though, based on the stuff that they want to do with F1 23, including a new game engine, F1 World for some unknown reason. Basically we do need that. Obviously I think that probably we for now keep it at press articles that we can at least have a read through. Maybe not every time, not everyone obviously, but anything that's going to stir up a juicy storyline and obviously lead to a confrontation later down the line. That's the crucial, is having that little link there between between obviously emails and the storyline that's going on. Now number four is about full races. So if you recall back to Breaking Point, because I know it has been a little bit of a while since we've all played it, but basically there was these full races that you just had to go out and race basically, which I feel needed a little bit more of events. It's a scripted story mode at the end of the day. If you, let's say you're going to have a punch in one of these races, or some contact, then that's fine. I don't mind doing the whole race. Maybe, remember there was the puncher one at Silverstone where they showed out that new delamination model, and basically I would like to see, obviously, that expanded, so you'd do the whole race at Silverstone in that scenario, because that's a recoverable race, and obviously it's about how you get into the position. Then at some point you could, and also have that a little bit random, like a puncher like that, potentially. But it's a scripted event, so it is going to happen at some point, but you don't know when it's going to happen during the race. That would be quite cool, because it brings the races, it brings the races into the player's control, and obviously the player, isn't as an unknown when that event. They know the event might happen, but they don't know when it's going to happen. They don't know when, if they're able to come back, whether it's going to be on the last lap of the Grand Prix where they're going to have a puncher and do a Lewis Hamilton to win the race, or whether it's going to be on the first lap of the Grand Prix, fall to last place. Having that little bit of uncertainty does increase the value of the game. But definitely there needs to be something done to the full races, because otherwise it's just normal career mode, and if I want to play normal career mode, I'm going to be playing driver and my team career mode anyway, which probably you are, because at the end of the day, Breaking Point, there was 5 to 6 hours of gameplay in the last one, so there's not that much. Obviously they might expand F123 depending on what else they're going for, but particularly I would like to see a little bit more. Otherwise, as I said, it's just a career mode race. And the final one, again, as I've already highlighted, is really just a basic one, being more consequences. And also there's something I like a lot about, I think this is a new thing coming to other story mode games like Assassin's Creed and whatnot, where you get a decision. So that means in that particular story it's a big decision, and you can go on multiple paths and have multiple endings depending on what decision you made over the story mode. Some of the things they could go for, as we've already seen a little snippet of it from F1 2019 in the F2 race, where you could choose to let Lucas Weber go past or not, but team orders. Now obviously you got a different cutscene based on what decision you tried to make. We want something more on that, because obviously that could mean that your teammate, it may be Lucas, or maybe they get a selection of teammates, for example, and if that teammate could walk away to another team because of you, and the team might not then held you in high regard if they prefer them to you. You could end up being kicked out of the team, for example, if it keeps on carrying, if it keeps on being instant. So having more, as I said, more consequences based on the actions you make in the story mode, and to make the story mode unique to the player but at the same time scripted. You have multiple branches. We have these scripted outcomes, but there's multiple scripted outcomes. That's definitely something we want to see on Breaking Point on F123. So that's where I'm going to leave it today's video. Make sure to comment below your own ideas as well. This is your last chance to do so before next week's episode, where I'll be collating those into themes and analysing them, giving my view on those as well. Make sure also to get subscribed to see never miss any F123 gameplay, and also F123 game news, because I'm pretty sure once we get the other side of winter, March, I'm pretty sure, unlike with this year with F122 where we had that delay because of the supercars, I don't think we're going to be getting delay this year on F123 ideas. So yes, make sure you get subscribed. Until the next video then, I'll see you next time. Take care. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy your day, and goodbye.